Hello and welcome to The Conversation. My name is Friday Otuya. On this segment of the show, we shall be looking at the recent proposal by the NCC, talking about the Nigerian Communications Commission, about a plan to restrict over-the-top services in Nigeria, talking about WhatsApp, Facebook, Skype, Viber and other services. The cause of which they have said is the dwindling revenue being generated by various telecommunications companies in Nigeria because various consumers no longer patronize voice calls and of course text messages as the case may be. To join me in this conversation is Mr. Hilary Damissah, the editor-in-chief of Cyber Africa magazine. Thank you very much, Mr. Hilary, for being my guest.
Thank you so much, Friday. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, you're looking good today.
Thank you.
What's the secret?
Well, really, it's a time to feel good without minding what the pocket economy really says.
I asked you the secret. You just told me when I say maybe you're not feeling it sort of. You're not feeling the pocket economy.
No, you devise a means to cope with the pocket economy. So if there's nothing you can do about that, you make yourself happy.
Pocket economy. That leads me straight to the conversation that we're having right now. Over-the-top technologies have been a major, boost to the economy of this country because they connect businesses both within and outside the country. Now there is a proposal to limit some of these services or to ban some of these services. What sort of impact do you think that would have in the country?
Well, in terms of impact on businesses and enterprises, I am sure that for companies that have adopted these means and these services to drive their businesses, there are always ways to, evolve and re-evolve if the regulatory body decides to beam a searchlight on this. I think before now, companies had ways of doing their business, and of course with new processes, digital systems evolving every day, definitely there will be a way out for organizations.
But what do you think is the main rationale for this? Because it has really, these services have really boosted the economy. It's like a plus to our social communication, our business communication. Why would the government want to stop this at this particular time?
Well, it's here and there. You'd have to look at the liberalization of the telecom industry by the federal government of Nigeria, which brought about the growth of the GSM, of course, mobile network service providers. And these are companies that have invested hugely in infrastructure, in human capital, and of course in ensuring that their services are brought to the doorstep of Nigerians.
But don't you think these so-called telcos, they make a lot of money from Nigerians via even the phone calls you're talking about? They do make a lot of money, and even from the data, the cost of data has been increased to some extent recently. Don't you think that can cover for the cost of these OTT technologies? I don't really see it as a way of that it can affect their revenue base because they have other means of getting money. I just think personally now that it's would I say a fear sort of that they could one day wipe out voice calls from the market, such that we will not even be making voice calls. I think it's just that fear that is motivating this. Or you have a
well, it's not really a very peculiar situation to Nigeria. There's a UK-based research company, Ovum, that reported that over-the-top technologies will deplete the voice and the data market in terms of revenue to the tune of 386 billion between 2012 and 2018. That is a huge concern for traditional mobile network operators. And if it is allowed to subsist, it therefore means that in Nigeria, the fears that the telcos are nursing, it's a real one. With the current recession, of course, affecting all sectors of the economy, it is obvious that the cry of the telcos is a reality. And we reports also have it that over 50% of their revenues have been depleting in recent times. And this is because of the alternate services that over-the-top technologies provide for as against the traditional telecom companies.
Okay, I want to look at this situation right now from the current state of the country and from the perspective of Nigerians.
why is this proposed ban coming now? The session did not start today. Why is it coming right now?
Well, I am not a mouthpiece of the government. I would not be able to speak as to the timing of this proposal. But what I know is that the telecom regulatory body, the Nigerian Communications Commission, if it wants to be reckoned among global best practices, it has to benchmark itself with what is obtainable in other advanced economies. And if South Africa, as Africa's maybe, it's debatable whether it's the biggest economy or second biggest, and it's something that is between South Africa and Nigeria. If they are taking a look at this critically, it therefore means that Nigeria should give it a thought and at least maybe to ensure that the telecom industry matches with the best.
What is your final word to the people that will bear the brunt of this, Nigerians? Final word.
Nigerians are very resilient, very resolute, very rugged, very determined set of human beings. Let me say that apart from India and a few other countries, Nigeria is one of the countries with the highest export of expatriates or diasporans. And then our sense of communality is one that makes Nigerians want to connect with their siblings and friends and families from all over the world. And you can imagine what that means to the Nigerians. So I would want to say that the telcos and the government should find a way to strike a balance so that you do not make the grass suffer when two elephants go to war. So I believe that the NCC should be able to find a balance so as not to hit the Nigerian, the consumer, below the belt.
All right, you've heard it all from the editor-in-chief of Cyber Africa magazine, Mr. Hilary Damissah. When we should not let the grass suffer when two elephants are fighting. Thank you very much for being my guest on the show today.
It's my pleasure, Friday. Thank you for having me.